This video is about four colts and their first time going out in the arena, and it's about the fifth ride for all of them. We did all these colts in the same day so you could see the different things that they do. We start with the warm-up to just kind of let them out. Just turn them loose and let them go discover the arena. Got a saddle on, they'll figure out what they're going to booger at, and they'll still maintain some of their discipline from the round pin and hook on to the trainer. This little filly is going 9-0 for a long time, but they do end up hooking back on. And this particular filly is pretty shy, and so she's not really sure what she's going to do. Right here I'm going to see if she really wants to leave or stay. She's decided that she'd rather stay and hang with me. But she doesn't get to just stand out there. She's got to come back on in. And I'll go to send her, and she goes, nope, I don't want to do that. I think it'd be better to hang right here. And we reward her with a little pet. This next colt loves to run. We'd run all day if he needed to. So we end up turning him quite a bit and letting him figure out that it's easier to not work so hard. This is a bet he's a cat. Sorrel gelding. When he comes in a little bit different than the other filly. He's got to figure out that it's safe, and then he comes in, ears forward. This is kind of what we like to see. Not quite so timid, but still plenty of respect. He's checking it out. We wait for him to come all the way. It didn't take very much to draw him in, so I'm going to meet him halfway. This next colt is by One Fine Vintage out of a Tangy's Classy Peppy mare. This is really what you'd like to have in every colt that gets started. This is an easygoing horse, just a 2-year-old gelding, and we ran him around just like we did the other colts previously, just so you can figure out what the arena is. And this is again like his 5th or 6th ride, and but now he has some space to travel and it's outside the breaking pen, and so we just give him a little chance to look around. I like to go one direction most of the time and get them started where they get comfortable. They can look out at the one eye and not have to switch eyes too much when they're first going. In this case, I'm going to the left, and he just handles it fine. He's not in a hurry. He's not worried about anything. He braces up against the bit as you'd expect a little bit, but it's just a baby. And we're just trying to show a little bit of direction. Introduced here to the right eye and trying to get him just kind of comfortable in this position. It's pretty easy going colt, as you can see. What's really nice is he wants to drop his head down just a little bit, give to that bit. After we get going, we kind of encourage them with their body to travel out and see what they want to do. And of course we post up to help them, encourage them to move their feet. The whole point of the exercise of going in the arena is so they can move their feet but be under control. This is a pretty nice traveling colt here with the first time he's loped out. Right here I just kind of give him a little direction to the inside so he's not using the railing for direction, and this way he still has him looking out his left eye to see me if it's any problem. As soon as he does something good, go ahead and stop. He doesn't have to grind him into the ground. Turn him around and see how he handles this other side. Oftentimes they'll be completely different on going this direction. The nice thing about this colt is he is really consistent. Looks around a little bit. Typically, for the colts that I start, they kind of are a little bit tougher on the right side for whatever reason. I haven't figured it out yet, but this one seems to handle everything really well. Just make one lap, don't have to make a big deal about it, and just kind of quietly ask him for a stop. This next colt is by Kit Kat Sugar, is out of Gray Starlight Mare. This is a big colt. He's already at 14.3, and he has kind of got sticky feet, and so he has a hard time getting to travel, as you'll see here. I don't quite trust him this ride. This was a little while ago, but he's the only colt that kind of blew up when we started the initial process. So out in this open space, I'm just kind of gonna get him to travel a little bit, see what we can do without getting too carried away, without getting him too excited at this point. And you'll see that he just has a hard time kind of deciding he's going to pack my weight around. We're just trying to get him to follow his nose a little bit. Both directions are good. Trying to encourage him with my seat rather than trying to kick on him too much. We don't want to make him dull if we can help it. Now we get after him a little bit because he's just been kind of wallowing around here. And you'll see he has a little bit of, he'll take off in the wrong lead, but there's no big deal. Try to encourage him again here. Picks up the wrong lead. He's trying to figure out how to pack me around, even as big as he is. At 14.3 for just coming to. All right, here we've added a little bit of help on the back end with the inside rein tapped on a butt, and you can see him resist that. And so now we got him going. He stalls out here. Get after him to make sure that he keeps his feet moving. Here we go. That's good. And he again wants to resist, to help him a little bit here with inside rein. He kicks up. These are all braces that sometimes happen when you're riding a colt. Get after him again. Picks up the correct lead here. Then stumbles as he's trying to figure out how to pack me, and picks up the wrong lead coming out. But when it was all said and done, he moved out, and that's all we were trying to get done with that colt. This next colt is by Dular Smokin' and out of Smooth as a Cat Mare. This is kind of a good example of what a lot of colts will do. The barn is back here to the left of the frame, and this filly doesn't want to leave that area. She's more comfortable being by the other horses, and we just kind of let her wallow around a little bit. I have her always going to the left here, so she can go anywhere she'd like as long as it's to the left, and that way she doesn't double back and switch eyes and figure out how to scare herself. So she's starting to travel a little bit. This is the filly that was early in the tape that ran and ran and ran, and to make things a little bit easier, I've sped up this next little segment here to show how many times that she comes back to this gate. She just goes on and on trying to figure out how to do it. As you can see, she just is trying all kinds of different ways to get back. When she gets in next to the gate there, where she thinks she wants to be, and make it difficult for her to be there. Now she's left out, and she's not going to go back to that gate till she really thinks she has to. And by speeding this up, you can see how many times that she was trying to get out of going to that out in the middle of the arena anywhere. And as she keeps trying this, we just make this difficult for her to be next to the gate right there. Here's the deal. Kind of get after her a little bit and say, come on now. Introduce the rein at the back hip. Generally like to try to do it on the inside hip, and that makes it difficult to be there. And lo and behold, she goes, man, it's a lot easier to be out here. Now we take this opportunity to teach her that was a good idea, by coming out here and taking all the pressure off her and not circling back to the gate to see how many laps we can do. This was her first ride in the arena, so we're just going to let her kind of coast down to a little stop and climb off right here. That was well done. Took a while to get her to do that. This next and last colt is by Betty's a Cat out of CP Mare. This is a pretty neat little colt, but he does just about everything you can try and that you'll see starting colts. So it's a little bit longer segment, but it's probably worth taking a look at. This is just the initial getting on and him not wanting to give his face to the bridle. I like having those colts pulled around to the side. If they can't do it while you're on the ground, they're sure not going to do it while you're in the saddle. And so I just kind of get them started with it right here. You can see if anything were to happen and he makes a big move, he's going to go away from me right there. Now if I've been swinging my leg up and got kind of caught up there, it would have been kind of a mess. So he has to learn to be able to handle me getting on next to him. And as soon as I get on, I let him out of the bind a little bit. I don't give him their head fully. And you can see he just wants to resist that, same as he did on the ground. So not surprising at all. Still fighting with it. I just want to go one direction. He can go anywhere he wants, as long as in this case he goes to the left. So he can travel all the way across the arena or down the fence line, whatever he'd like. This colt's also going back to the barn and wanting to kind of mother up with the other horses, but didn't take long for him to kind of travel out. Right here he starts to feel kind of fresh with himself here and starts to pick up his pace. And now he's got to kind of figure out how to pack me around. Kind of kicks up a little bit here, and I just let him travel. Still, I just keep his nose canted to the left just a little bit. If he wants to follow it, that's fine, but it keeps him from doubling back. You can see him pick up speed here. Everything's just a little bit out of control. Not too bad. As we get going here, you can see it's a lot more relaxed slope. Still doesn't like the pressure of the bridle. That's okay. Got to learn it somehow. But he travels so nice. We're just going to teach him to follow his nose, and when he does it, we release him. Right here, he stumbled 3 times trying to pack me around. I was able to pick his head up every time, but it's a good example of a baby trying to travel a little faster than their feet can handle with the weight that they have. Again, we just encourage him to travel out. Now he's got a whole different eye, a whole different perspective on how he looks at it. I just keep him turned just a little bit to the right here. Comes over to the gate back to the barn. Now he tries to double back. That's an old classic beginning colt trick. He wants to go back to the barn. That's why we keep him. When he came out of there, he was out of control. So I just pull him right into the fence. The fence helps me out a little bit. He's still traveling. He's not really thinking. Pull him into it. Now you can watch how he gets a little bit slower each time. Now when we pull him in here, he goes, well, shoot. Now he's traveling nice. He wants to kind of fight with the bit a little bit. There's no big deal. It's 5th ride, no big deal at all. Important thing is eventually he starts following his nose. That's all we're trying to get accomplished. As long as their feet are moving and they can follow their nose, you can get a lot done. He gets a little full of himself, so I get hold of him. And he's just going to use that fence to stop him. Now he drops his head just like it should be, release him. Comes out of there nice and slow. That's terrific. Now we try him both ways a little bit. He's not wanting to go and follow his nose there, or runs himself over to the fence. As soon as he releases and goes towards his nose, I release him. Still encouraging him to go. Again, this is an exercise to move their feet. Now that's a really nice way to end right there. Dropping his nose, stopping. He starts to learn from that.